Fetterman is determined to be one ugly thorn in all of our sides. After no one took his whining on Fox News seriously, he's back with another threat. Or should I say, an ultimatum, breaking a 50-50 Senate split by turning into a Republican. Like the diva he is, there is nothing he won't do for the spotlight, and it seems he's found his Broadway moment.
What's going to be interesting is what Fetterman does.
Right.
Does he want to run again? Because he had some health problems.
He's going to get a primary
he looks healthier.
challenge.
And
yes.
Does he run as, if you primary him, maybe he runs as a Republican.
Wow.
And if he does stay in the Democratic Party, do Republicans even run someone against him? So, because they work so well together,
Yes.
and he's been so, he visited Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't visit Trump, they don't talk all the time, but President Trump sees what he's doing.
Yeah.
Fetterman's threat to leave the Democratic Party was first considered the ramblings of a mashed potato head, but his former staffer and one of the people on his team who raised early warning signs about him thinks that there is something a lot more sinister up Fetterman's hoodie sleeves. I think if he's the majority maker, he will flip, because it would give him a massive amount of attention. Jettleson, who last year expressed concerns about his former boss's mental health, said in an interview with Notice. Jettleson said the real risk for Democrats is if a vacancy opens up on the Supreme Court. Fetterman recently voted to confirm Markwayne Mullin as Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, so he could cross the aisle again to back a future Trump Supreme Court nomination. And I'm sure that he would. Jettleson continues, Democrats should not debase themselves trying to negotiate with him. He added, if he switches, it's containable. It will be a problem for 2 years, but we can recoup it in 2028. I wouldn't put it past him to try to squeeze the last 2 years of his term for everything that he can get. Everyone knows that his political career is over, so he's likely taking the Kristen Sinema route and moving into the lobbying business. Nothing but rats, snakes, and trolls in that industry, so he's likely to fit in great. And I'm going to take it one step further. I think flipping, if there's a tie in the Senate, is exactly what Fetterman has been talking to the Republicans about behind closed doors. Hence, John Thune welcoming him in with open arms.
Senator Fetterman has indicated that if Democrats officially become anti-Israel, he would leave the party. Have you had any conversations with him about maybe joining the GOP conference, and would you welcome him if he were to offer that message?
Yes, we would welcome him. That's what it's supposed to be. I haven't talked to him recently. I have had conversations with him in the past, as have many of my colleagues, about the challenges he faces in his caucus. And, there are many of us who I think would welcome the opportunity to have him join the Republican conference. But, ultimately that's a decision that's up to him. And if Senator Barrasso pointed out in his remarks, this is a party that's moving further and further, more radically, and to the more extreme left on a lot of issues. And I think people like John Fetterman, who have views that probably reflect a more moderate, or at least historically moderate, Democrat position, are really kind of people without a home. So if he ever comes to the conclusion that he's ready to move, we would certainly welcome it.
There is no way that Fetterman isn't in open conversation with members of the Republican leadership about this. He's trying so hard to squeeze into MAGA's ass that he's going to give himself another stroke. Someone from the Fox Corporation has to have put the word in his ear by this point, especially with the way they're pushing him so hard.
Can I tell you another huge mistake of your party? Not listening to Senator John Fetterman. That is the single smartest guy you have in your party. He doesn't hate. He says it like it is.
If John Fetterman is the smartest person in the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party is in really, really, really deep trouble.
Oh, wow.
Really deep trouble.
Hey, we'll take Senator Fetterman over here. We'll have him. We got a Big Ten over here.
This is a massively important contingency plan for the GOP in the midterms, considering Trump's war in Iran is cratering the Republicans' chances. Another thing that Fetterman is also supportive of, anything for Master Israel, I'm sure. Pretty much no one else likes it, though, so every indicator points to the Senate being in play this fall, and the House, well, that's also looking horrible for Trump.
Things are looking really, really tight. So let's dive right into it right now. Beginning with the Senate forecast, Fox News is projecting that control of the Senate is essentially just a toss-up right now, with the balance of power likely coming down to Senate seats in 4 states that are all considered coin flips right now. Those 4 states are colored in yellow. Fox News projects that Alaska, Iowa, Ohio, and Maine all have Senate races that are all toss-ups. And these are the matchups that will likely end up determining control of the Senate. Now, Republicans are eyeing a handful of potential Senate pickups in Georgia, New Hampshire, and Michigan, all of which Fox News Power Rankings project as leaning Democrat, while Democrats think they can flip Texas, which obviously leans Republican. But as for the House, Fox News projects that Democrats have the lead to flip control of the House back to blue, and they're in better shape than Republicans there right now. There are 16 House seats projected as toss-ups that will end up deciding control, though Republican redistricting wins could end up blunting some of the losses that the GOP was potentially facing. The Fox News Power Rankings also show, as of right now, voters prefer Democrats on the generic ballot against Republicans by about 4%. That's a flip from 2024 when Republicans led that by 1%. So you're looking at about a 5-point swing towards Democrats since the 2024 race.
This is bad for the GOP. A few months ago, it was almost laughable to think that the Republicans would lose the Senate, but an even split with a toss-up is definitely too close for comfort, which is why I think Fetterman is either taking advantage or taking the backroom deal. Either way, it's clear that he's chosen to abandon his constituents in favor of protecting Netanyahu at all costs.
Making these threats. He doesn't even have the authority to do this, I don't believe, to make an arrest like this.
He's a total clown. I mean, he has the authority to arrest Netanyahu any more than I would have the authority to arrest him in Washington, D.C. if he visited down in Washington, D.C. You're a mayor, dude. You know, pick up trash, fix some potholes, and really fix the homeless problem in your city too. You know, you're way out of your league, and now this is irresponsible. But like I said, he's just a total clown, and it's just for clicks at this point. He knows that he has nothing actionable.
John Fetterman is, to me, the perfect example of why we need to eliminate the Senate in favor of expanding the House. It feels so right-wing to say, but the anti-federalists were right. The Senate has simply become a vehicle for the modern aristocracy. The longer term limits, the higher age requirements, those were all meant to select for a trusted, wise legislator. But in reality, all elections are popularity contests, and ones that the Supreme Court has ruled corporations can spend enormous amounts of money. On top of that, humans are good at lying, but bad at spotting lies. So what ends up happening is money floods into campaigns, or candidates are bought off. And then there's no way for the states to have any recourse to recall a senator. The whole small state, big state divide, which is often used by conservatives now to defend the Senate, has largely given way to urban versus rural, where the Senate has simply become a way for land to vote over people. Either way, one thing is definitely sure: John Fetterman is a traitor that should be removed from Congress. Subscribe to U.S. Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.